Tonight I'm going to teach you how to... Hi, I'm Phil. Welcome to Pretty Good Cooking.
Pretty good.
Tonight on the show I'm going to teach you a relatively easy recipe. I'm going to put a little bit more effort into it. I'm going to teach you how to make a Spanish tortilla. And that's right, it's not flour or corn, it's eggs and potatoes. I gotta feed the dogs so I can get them to shut up. Alright, so the Spanish tortilla. It is a traditional Spanish food. It is very simple. It is basically a potato omelet. And tortilla is a term most people are familiar with from the land of tacos. This is not that, and I did not do enough research to explain what the difference is or why they have the same name, but it's fine. It's not why you're watching the show. To me, I wanted it to be quick and easy, which is what we're gonna try to do, but I also was like, there's 3 ingredients, sounds a little boring. So I'm gonna whip up a little sauce, which is not traditional, but I think it'll be good. So come with me and you'll see how to do it. All right, over here, this is a fairly large skillet. We're gonna get that heated up, and we're gonna pour in a shitload of oil, maybe about a cup. And we really are gonna fry these potatoes. And if you think it's wasteful to use that much oil, it is a little wasteful. But apparently, people who eat these all the time, the Spanish people, they just like drain out the oil and keep it in a little thing. And this is also reused oil. So I'm continuing that tradition. All right, first we are gonna chop half an onion. Today I'm using white, but yellow would be fine too. From my small amount of research, apparently the end omelet is supposed to taste a little sweet from the sugars in the potato and the onion. So yellow would probably be the best for that, but the guy who said that was using a white onion, so that's why I'm using it. And you can just go right and just thin slice, which is the easiest way to chop an onion, in my opinion. Okay, and just throw them in the oil. You can just go ahead and do it. So you can just go ahead and pop those in there, and it'll be fine.
Where are these onions from?
Oh, these are Giant Eagle onions, because there was a salmonella outbreak for Kroger onions, and I had some, and I had to throw them out. Once again, Kroger is me. I spent some time, I really spent some time. I was like, you know, what are the chances of my onions have salmonella? But like a responsible adult, I threw them out and was like, is $5 worth getting sick? In these trying times, no. No, absolutely not. These are russet potatoes, which is, I'm using them because I think it is the potato that you, the viewer, are most likely to have. Apparently, waxy potatoes are better for this because they'll hold their firmness a little bit better when frying. However, much in line with the last piece of advice that I just gave, the guy who told me that was using russet potatoes. He was full of advice that he didn't follow. I would never do such a thing. I got 4 medium-sized potatoes. It's gonna be a little over 1.5 pounds, probably. Actually, probably once we take the skins off, it's probably 1.5 pounds. Almost done peeling. All right, so now we're gonna thinly slice the potatoes, but you don't want them too thin. So I would say, I believe this thickness is what you're going for. I think that is probably a regular potato slice size. Now there are variations of this recipe, including one from Jose Andres. He's an outrageous character, funny guy, I like him. He makes this with potato chips. Actually, like those beet chips, the mixed root chips. And it makes sense, right? Because we're frying potatoes. So go ahead and plop those in. And because I don't have an absolute shitload of oil in here, I'm probably gonna have to move them around a little bit. Alternatively, you could add enough oil to, you know, completely fry them, but that just seems excessive to me. So we are gonna fry this on relatively high heat until we get some slight caramelization. Not totally brown, not French fried, not Spanish fried, just lightly fried. And I'll show you what that looks like. But that actually will take some time. So we will be back in a few. I'll give you updates as we cook. While our potatoes and onions are frying, we're gonna make Romesco sauce. You might not have heard of it. Romesco sauce is kind of like a roasted red pepper sauce. And traditionally it's thickened with bread. But we are millennials. We don't eat bread like that. So I'm gonna use nuts. Also, it's a highly rated recipe I found from somewhere. All right, this is a blender sauce, and you don't even have to cook it if you don't want it. So get you some roasted red peppers. Sliced or whole, it doesn't matter. Sliced is typically cheaper for some reason. There's Napoleon, that's the guy. And dump them in. Now, do you use the liquid or not? I don't know. Don't remember. I'm gonna use the liquid. It's got good flavor. Good flavor. All right, and to that, we are gonna add some Plum or Roma tomatoes. I've got Roma, and I think I've got too many, so I'm just gonna use 3. Recipe I'm vaguely following said 4, but these seem big and boxy. So I'll just give them a coarse chop just to make it a little easier on the blender. It's a high-powered blender, so it doesn't really matter too much. You can see I'm not coring them because I don't care. And to that, we are gonna add a 1/4 cup of olive oil, which is about that. Zoobity-doobity-boobity. Stir my potatoes. You can see I'm starting to get a little caramelization. It's good. You know, there's plenty of other potatoes to cook in here. Some of them have just been sitting there doing nothing. Maybe I'll lower the heat a little bit. Give them more time. There's still time to save the animal species of the world. Still time. Alright, we're gonna add 1 cup of raw almonds. Crazy, I know. But this is kind of like a vegan sauce hack. A food hack, if you will. Where you can make things creamy by blending nuts. There's a joke in there somewhere, but I shan't make it today. I got some of this homegrown garlic. You really need about 2 normal sized cloves. This is, you know, homemade gourmet, so it's smaller. Not as good of a value. But what it lacks in size, it makes up for in enthusiasm. Very enthusiastic garlic. Alright, and it's hard to peel. We've established that because it's fresh, it's not dried out like that Chinese garlic. Do you know China is the #1 garlic grower in the world? I don't know if our grocery store garlic comes from there, but they grow the most garlic. Forget where I learned that. I think it was on a website of Garlic Facts. You know, casual reading. All right, there's that. We want the juice of a lemon. Will it fit in my squeezer? No. If I get seeds in there, do I care? No. Gonna be blended up with the other seeds. The nuts. Seeds and nuts. Damn, that's a lot of lemon seeds. It's gonna make it bitter. I've ruined the sauce. It's as if I have no power to just pull them out now. I don't, they're impossible to grip. All right, and finally we're gonna add some parsley. This is from my yard. I washed it thoroughly already. Really only need the leafy bits. That seems like a fine amount. And some salt. And you can see that it's, you know, it's very full, but that's okay. It will blend. And I'm over here flipping the potatoes again. You can see they're starting to look pretty good. Well, I can see it. I don't know if you can. You can see it, but I don't know if you have the knowledge to know that they're looking pretty good. That's what I'm trying to say in so many words. If you don't have the knowledge to know if potatoes are looking good, talk to a potato farmer. He can teach you. Can I teach you? No, I don't know. I don't know how I know. Well, don't. Anyway, let's blend the sauce. And we're gonna pulse it. And pulsing is a way of grinding things a little bit. So you can totally emulsify this if you want, but it doesn't have to come to that. Okay, so I got no parsley action.
You're supposed to put the leafy stuff at the bottom.
I don't know. That's above my pay grade. Go look it up. I don't know. How are we looking? Yeah, it's pretty chunky. Let's hit it with a little bit more. Honestly, just thinking about it, like, it's okay if it's a little chunky, but you want to break up those nuts. So that's the important part. That's how it'll get creamy. Are you creamy? Honestly, the nuts aren't breaking up that much, so I think I'm just gonna turn it on a higher blend. Yeah, that's looking good. Look how pretty that is. Cool. And that's it. Well, we should taste it. Mmm, that's really good. It reminds me a little bit of harissa without the spice. It's not spicy at all. That would be really nice. Let's put in something pretty. Oh, our potatoes are just about done. Good timing. So you can see we've got some caramelization, and most of our potatoes are like relatively cooked, which is good. So you can get to this point. To me, based on very little that I know, looks good enough. Okay, so we are going to take that. We're going to turn off the heat. We're going to put them in a bowl, but before we put them in the bowl, we're going to crack some eggs. Or some hen berries, as we once called them. Berries of a hen. What a vivid metaphor. We're going to use 6 eggs. Actually, in an ideal world, I would have cracked these earlier, salted them, beat them lightly, and then let them sit out. I don't really know exactly what that does, but apparently that can help make eggs taste nicer. Texturally or tastily, or maybe it's just the old placebo effect. A little bit of salt, give it a whiz. But because this is a recipe, do not overbeat the eggs. Don't do it. It looks fine. All right, now from here, you can drain the potatoes, or if you want like what I'm doing, just make sure they're not completely saturated in oil. Slotted spoon would be fine. What I'm doing is fine because it's okay with a little bit of oil. By the way, this is not, I don't think this is healthy. Just want to throw that out there. Although what we're making is supposed to serve 4 to 6 people or something. So it's, what's 1 egg and 2 French fries? I don't know, it's not that bad. Some people would call that half a breakfast. Okay, now, an important step that only Authentico omelets use is you gotta mix these up with the eggs, like I'm doing right now. Try to push as many potatoes as you can. Kind of flatten them out. Don't break them up though. And you cover this and you leave it. And you're gonna leave it for 15 minutes. And the reason that you're doing that is if you care. No, it's because you're letting the potatoes soak up some of the eggs. So basically you're gonna be able to get a better, I guess like a better texture, probably a better flavor too. If you don't wanna like f around with shitty foil like I'm doing right now, just throw the foil on lightly and then you can just put a towel over it and that should do it. So we will be back in 15 minutes. All right, let's look at what we got. Looks a little oily, that's okay. I knew it would be oily based on the fact that I didn't strain the oil that well. So my inclination is that this is gonna end up being oily. There's nothing we can do about that now, but I don't really care. So let's get this lit, and it's non-stick, and I've got some oil in there just from what I didn't strain. And then we are gonna go ahead and pour our mixture right in. And looking at how it looks, I think it's fine. I was gonna say, maybe I used too big of a pan. Sometimes they're a little thicker than this. It's not too late. I probably could decrease the size of the pan. Let's try it. What do we got to lose? Let's see how it looks in this pan before we progress. Yeah, that looks more correct to me. Because we want it a little thick. That should be fine. So go ahead and use a smaller skillet than what I did. And you can press it through like so. Give it some salt. And we are going to cook that on one side and then the other. And I'll show you how we do that when we do that. But for now, I'm just gonna cook it. So we'll see how long that takes. If it was preheated, it probably would only take a couple minutes aside. Remember, the potatoes are basically cooked. So now we're just making it into an omelet. Doesn't it look good? Okay, my omelet is cooked on one side. I can tell because it's pulling away from the pan a little bit. So we will, with the assistance of a plate, very carefully flip it over. Oh no. Ah, no! We'll flip it back over. It's sticking more than I thought it would. If I jostle around the sides, oh man, I really f***ed this up. It's still gonna be tasty, don't worry. I just didn't put enough oil in the pan, which was, I didn't put any oil in the pan. Okay, so it's okay. We will recover. It's just not gonna be as pretty. It's gonna be home style, like they say. All right, and there is our tortilla. So we are gonna put that back in. You can see it's butt ugly because I didn't do it right. Non-stick my ass. Look at that shit. Can't even scrape that off. Not to worry. Never worry. Don't even worry. Don't worry. Because there's a second side to the omelet. That's cooking spray, okay? Now, you see that it doesn't look the best? I don't care. That's all I have to say about that. Now, using a spatula, or really, whatever, plop it back in, like so. And you can press it down if you want. So what I'm anticipating is that this will end up being home style Spanish tortilla. Something that like your drunk Spanish grandfather would make. And it doesn't look great, but it probably tastes pretty good. And since we're at it, let's give it a little more salt, why not? I am actually gonna flip it back over again when we plate it in hopes of it looking slightly better. Okay, take 2 on the flip. I'm only doing this at this, you could totally not do this. I'm only flipping again because I hope the other side looks better. So pray to whoever you pray to. And hey, that looks pretty nice, doesn't it? That looks a hell of a lot better. All right, that's it. That's the tortilla. So now we're gonna slice it. We're gonna eat it. I'm gonna put sauce on it too because I like sauce and John likes sauce. We were just talking about like things with sauce. All right, let's cut this. We'll carefully transfer it, making sure not to destroy the omelet in the process. Well, I lightly destroyed it. And we will cut it into pieces. But what you should end up with, and it should be a little bit better than mine probably, is a fairly uniform texture. My guess is that I did not cut the potatoes thin enough. I've been wrong before, and I'll be wrong again. Don't doubt that. Looks edible, that's the goal. So let's give it a taste. And it's falling apart, that's okay. It's good. For my taste, definitely needs more salt. Not really picking up a lot of that sweetness that guy talked about, but I will say that I think we did a good job on the cooking the potatoes, because they've got like a nice texture to them, where they're fully cooked but they're not mushy. You don't want mushy. So let's see how it tastes with some of this sauce. So I think this will really make it more fun to eat. Oh, that's really good. It really freshens up what is, you know, an oily potato omelet. That sauce is the bomb. It tastes like a garden in a real nice way. So, this is really yummy. This is really yummy. The more I eat this, the more I like it. Be a good brunch. Be good, you know, anytime meal, really. So, you know, did we make it perfect? No. Obviously not. I had some problems. Did we make something edible and actually pretty tasty? Yeah, and you should too. That's how you do it. We'll see you next time on Pretty Good Cooking Show that you're still watching. Can't watch nothing else. Alright, bye. Quick bonus. I drank this beer while I made the tortilla. There it is.